Let's go on to UFC Fight Night 88 on Sunday in Las Vegas. For some reason I saw this and I thought, oh, it's a Sunday show, it's overseas. No, it's in Vegas. Main event is Thomas Almeida and Cody Garbrandt.
Two guys who are undefeated, although Almeida is ranked, Garbrandt is not. And Garbrandt is trying to make something out of that by claiming that Almeida padded his record by beating up a bunch of cab drivers.
Do you agree with that?
I don't think that really holds muster at this point in his career because he's been in UFC for 4 fights now, and he's beat good guys. Yves Jaboin, Brad Pickett, Anthony Burchak. It's not like he's beating scrubs. He's beating legitimate UFC fighters.
There's a reason why he's ranked.
I would say so too, and I don't like Cody Garbrandt's chances in this fight. I don't know how you feel about it, but I would not consider him a favorite.
I think Almeida wins this, but I'll go one step further. I say this fight does not need judges to decide a winner.
I think you're probably right about that. I'm just curious since I already mentioned it, so I'm going to take a look at the latest odds.
I'm surprised the co-main event's not the main event.
There's a lot of things I'm surprised about in mixed martial arts these days, but before you move on to the co-main event, I want to pull up the line and see where we're at for this.
Yeah.
So, UFC, continue, and here we go. Wow, this line is a lot closer than I would have thought.
What is that?
It's minus 155 for Almeida, plus 135 for Garbrandt.
That's a lot closer than I thought.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that Almeida smokes him, but you wouldn't know it from this line.
That's why you fight the fights, though.
That is true.
Now, the co-main event, in my opinion, could be a main event. Morale and Jeremy Stephens.
You broke up a little, but I believe you said Barao versus Stephens, and you're right. That could be the main event on some cards, like some fight night cards. I don't know if that'd be a pay-per-view main event.
No, but definitely a fight night.
I mean, you're looking at Jeremy Stephens, a hard-hitting guy who never backs down in any fight he's ever been in, win or lose. So you know he's exciting and fun to watch. And Barao's former champion and used to be considered one of the pound-for-pound best in the world. So, yeah, this is arguably the main event of a fight night. Now, who do you think is the favorite?
I think Barao's the favorite, but I really have a hard time betting against Stephens.
You are right, and the odds makers agree with you that it's hard to go against Stephens here because they've only got him a plus 160 underdog. Barao is a small minus 185 favorite.
I think for Barao it has to be a statement fight. He has to go through Stephens. Not exactly an easy task there.
No. I mean, if he wants to move back into being considered one of the best fighters in the world, Stephens is his first step on the way there. He's really got to make a statement and prove himself now because, he's moving up to featherweight. So he's admitting he can no longer make the cut, and we all know he had problems with the cut in the past. He's only won one of his last 3 fights, and the guy he lost the title to is no longer the champion either. So Barao's actually looking pretty low on the pecking order and having to restart from scratch in a whole new weight class now, and he better show himself in this fight.
Now, what about Tarek Saffiedine and Rick the Horror Story?
That fight is probably going to be scratched.
Really?
Yeah, Saffiedine has an undisclosed injury, and they were trying to find a replacement.
I hate it when they're undisclosed. I mean, I get upper body, lower body. I mean, that's a hockey culture injury report we usually get during the playoffs. But if it's undisclosed, I mean, it could be something that's 2 weeks or 2 months or 6 months. We don't know.
Right. Well, apparently...
All right, what about Chris Camozzi and...
Hold on. I got an update here from Bloody Elbow. I guess Saffiedine got cleared from his injury. The doctors have said he's good to go for the fight this week. So let's just go ahead and give the line then, since Saffiedine is cleared. It's minus 125 to plus 105. But if Savadine is coming in hurt and the line is this close to begin with, I would think Rick Story's probably going to win.
So you're saying Horror Story's out for blood?
I think he might just be. But now we're going to talk about Camozzi and Miranda.
Yeah, I mean, I like Camozzi a lot, and I think he wins this fight. I'm going to say first round.
Vitor Miranda is actually your favorite here. It's minus 235 to plus 195. It's one of the longer lines on this card. I know you like Camozzi, and I got nothing against him myself, but look at his last 3 fights. He has gotten 3 straight TKOs either with punches or head kicks. Lex Luthor Miranda is kind of on a tear right now, and I don't see him slowing down for Camozzi. Camozzi is a gritty guy. He's a tough guy. He's a guy who can definitely take it to the ground and draw out a fight and make it really hard for anybody, but he's been in and out of UFC 2 to 3 times now, which shows to me, to my way of thinking, that he's a good fighter, but he's not an exceptional fighter. He's your guy that's going to beat lower run guys like Joe Diesel Riggs, who at this point is another fighter that might be thinking about calling it a day, and Tom Kong Watson. But he's not beating your higher caliber guys like Jacare Souza or Lorenz Larkin. You know, this is Camozzi is a journeyman. And I mean that respectfully. I don't mean it as an insult, but I can't pick him in this fight.
I think Lex Luthor here, he's 36. Camozzi's in his late 20s. It'd be funny if Camozzi comes out for the weigh-ins in his Superman cape. Something that I would do. But I think youth beats experience here.
I'm going to disagree. I'm sticking with Miranda.
All right. What about Lorenz Larkin and Jorge Masvidal?
Well, funny, I just mentioned Larkin, and coincidentally, he is the favorite in this, although, like a lot of these other lines on the card, it's pretty close. Larkin is minus 130, Masvidal plus 110.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Larkin just because I flipped and it said heads.
All right. I'll go with Masvidal in a very, very slight upset, and I'm going to go with that because of the fact that I think he was pretty darn close to beating Benson Henderson in Henderson's final fight in UFC. It was a split decision, so one judge gives him one more round, and that fight goes the other way. And 4 out of his last 6, possibly 5 out of his last 6 if it wasn't for the Henderson fight, possibly 6 out of his last 6 if he didn't also lose a split decision to Ally Quinta. I think Masvidal has more to offer in this fight. I'm not saying that he's better than Lorenz Larkin. I'm just saying he's better than his record. But I think it's going to be a super close fight.
Fair enough.
Berkman and Felder, right?
Josh Berkman and Paul Felder.
Yes, this one, Felder is the heavy favorite, minus 300. Berkman, plus 250. I like that line. I agree with Felder being the winner here.
Yeah, I have no problem with that at all. As far as prelims are concerned, there are a couple of fights here that catch my eye. No pun intended. Jessica Evil Eye against Sarah McMahon.
Line for that one would be minus 155 McMahon, plus 135 for Eye.
I guess. I don't know. I think it should be a little bit better odds for McMahon, but it's like Jeremy Stevens. You really want to count out Evil Eye in this fight?
No, I would not. In fact, I'll actually pick Evil Eye as upset in this one.
Another one here is Eric Koch against Shane Campbell.
Plus 150 Koch, minus 170 Campbell.
You think so? See, I think I'm going to use one of my famous sayings on this show. I'm saying Koch plays with house money here.
Maybe he does, but he's lost 2 out of his last 3, and the guy he beat, Rafael Oliveira, I don't know if that's your, career highlight win. I don't know if that really says that much when Oliveira's lost 4 of his last 5.
And one more prelim that, we should talk about here is Brian Caraway and Aljamain Sterling, the aforementioned one from earlier tonight.
Sterling's the huge favorite here, minus 440, Caraway plus 350. Totally agree with Sterling being the favorite.
Why do we know about Caraway again?
Because he's the boyfriend of Miesha Tate,
the current 135 champion. Alright, yeah, Sterling will have no problem beating Caraway here, but fighters can get beat. I mean, it's not a lock he's going to win this fight. I'm going to give Caraway the odd chance here. I'm not going to pick him. I'm picking Sterling, but if Caraway makes the wins the upset here, I wouldn't be 100% shocked.
No, I wouldn't either.
All right, so that's UFC Fight Night 88 in Vegas. Sunday night prelims start at 6 on Fight Pass, 7 on FS1.